voter turnout being increased by all colors, races, um, is the biggest win, I think, out of all of this, right? Because half the country, but essentially, give or take, voted, and that was the highest voter turnout, and that's kind of scary because half of the country still didn't go out to vote, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it was so much easier. And the hopes is we get us to that point where majority of the country is involved in who's running the country, and
Mm-hmm.
that ultimately means the people are going to be in charge of that, and that's the most purest way that it could be, because all of us as individuals are going to be affected by the results, so we might as well have a say in what they should be. I had a prediction for this, by the way. I think in the very near future,
Mm-hmm.
I feel there's going to be an emerging, uh, uh, strongly competitive, emerging third party. Obviously, there are other parties already, right? And those like the Independent Party, Green Party, all of these parties that are already out there, but unfortunately, they don't have enough fuel to get the number of votes necessary to overtake the Dems or the Republicans. But I do feel there's going to be a third emerging party in the near future, and I've even came up with a name for it. Is I think it's going to be the People's Party.
The
I honestly
People's
think I
Party.
think it's going to be. What do you think of that People's Party? Which obviously means it's about the people. It's not about businesses first. It's not
Mm-hmm.
about the top 1%. It's about the everyday regular people that shape the entirety of this country, right? The majority of this country would be defined as regular people, that hardworking families, um, that and that just want their voices heard. I feel that we're headed in that direction. Um, this year, 150 million people voting uh, was a huge step towards that. I felt. I think the Democrats and Republicans, uh, in my opinion, I humbly say that they ultimately, at the end of the day, they're both conglomerates and they're businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
They both make money from having their party represent the White House or the Congress. Um, and that's why it becomes this rat race, right? Or it becomes ugly because the motive is money, and it's not what can we do for the people. And anyway, that's where I think the People's Party is, cheesy name, but People's Party is where we may be headed. What do you think about that?
I think it solely depends on whether or not the Republican or no, the Democratic Party. Um, it depends on whether or not the Democratic Party or even the Republican Party starts to represent the people instead of the upper 1%. Because in my opinion, I see that right now, so far the Democrats are. It looks like the Democrats are representing us, like they're pushing for rejoining the Paris Accord for climate change. They're pushing back. They're pushing back on the COVID pandemic. They're also um, let's see. They're also fighting for they're also fighting against racial injustice,
Yeah.
which we've seen before. And uh, but I believe when it comes to that, when it comes to the People's Party, it depends on whether whether or not these parties progress towards representing the people.
Yeah.
It's because why fix what ain't broke, right?
That's right. That's Together we'll purify the mind and have a good time.
showcase.